Hello, Shumai, and welcome back to the Director of Football Challenge. And yes, it's that time of the season again where we talk about transfers. It's the end of January, it's the 3rd of February, and we have had a pretty, how can I say it, probably awful January transfer window. We'll start with the outs, which are much more emphatic than the ins. The first player to leave in January was Mudu Barrow, left for 1 million to go to Wolves. I was fine with that. He's never going to really feature in the squad as we don't even play wingers anymore. So Barrow leaving wasn't a massive problem. Narsing, again, I transfer listed him because I didn't think he was going to play. He's left to go to Nice, and he's already played 3 games for them, which was the same he played all season for us. 2 million for him. We didn't get our money back, but at the end of the day, I was happy. He was a squad player. He was taking up a lot of wages. And the one player who left, which I was really unhappy about, was Jordan Ayew. Our top goal scorer this year. Incredibly good. He's been excellent for us. He's really improved. And he was sold for what I'd say was pretty cheap as well. 11.5 million. It could rise, I believe, to more. Yeah, it could rise to 13 million, but it's really not that much for a guy who'd scored, well, only 7 goals in 22 games, actually, when you look at it. But he started off the season very, very good. Nonetheless, we got 13 million. Well, we could be getting 13 million for him. And the main reason why it was so awful was because look at the players we brought in. One player, Tomislav Gomelt. Decent player, very happy with him. But he's a central midfielder. And we don't need more central midfielders. I did terminate Rodri's loan simply because he wasn't playing. There was no surprise there that he was leaving. I'm really tempted to terminate Kevin Stewart's loan now that we've got Gomelt in as well. I mean, he's a player with not much potential to improve on what he's got. He's good as he is. Decent midfielder, backup midfielder, but it's just not what I wanted. I really want a new striker, to be honest with you, because our best striker had gone. He's off to Villarreal. I think he was injured when we sold him, so I doubt he's played a game yet. No, he hasn't played for Sevilla yet. He's still injured, as you can see there. Damaged kneecap. He's still out for a while. But that is the January transfer window. That is a very typical Swansea City transfer window where we sell our best players and we don't replace them with enough quality. We have spent 37 million this year, which I can kind of understand why they're a little bit hesitant to bring in players. And that Andre Horta deal is looking very, very poor at the moment. We've paid 20 million for a guy who scored 1 goal and 1 assist this season. Yeah, it's not worked out the best for him so far in Swansea City colours. 20.5 million we paid for him. He's only worth 13 million actually. So yeah, it's a very difficult transfer window, both transfer windows. But let's take a look at if that has affected results. The last game was the Man United game, and we were on a pretty dreadful run of form, and that continued in the following game against Leicester, where we conceded 2 goals in 10 minutes. Yaya Toure pulled one back, but we still lost. We started our defence of the FA Cup against Shrewsbury. We did go 1-0 down after 13 minutes, and I thought, if we lose this, I am going to be in massive trouble. But we didn't. Llorente scored a minute after, and we won fairly comfortably in the end. We drew 1-1 away at Wolves in the EFL Cup semi-final. Horta getting his only goal this season for the club there. And we drew 1-1 against Liverpool, which is a good result. But if you look at the timing on it, Joshua Noma scored in the 83rd minute. I was celebrating. I thought, yes, a victory. That's fantastic. And then John Guidetti, of all people, scored for Liverpool. Valued at 29 million. He's doing very, very well for Liverpool. 14 goals in 22 games. That's an incredible record. He's really found his feet at Liverpool. Fair play to the guy. And he is lighting up the Premier League this year. After that, Borja Baston seemed to have hit back some form. He scored a double against Bournemouth after I gave him a start. Fantastic performance by him. And it kind of stopped the rot. Well, it definitely stopped the rot in the Premier League. And we beat Wolves 2-1 in the EFL Cup, which means second season, second cup final. We will be playing Spurs on the 25th of February at Wembley in the EFL Cup final. Another chance to get into Europe next year, which for a club like Swansea to be in 2 cup finals in 2 seasons, regardless of where we are in the league table, I think that's an excellent achievement. I'm really happy with that. Spurs obviously is going to be very, very tough game, and that's probably going to be the next episode. I'll probably skip the Espanyol games and hope that we win them and don't get knocked out of the Euro Cup. But the EFL Cup will be the next episode after this. Following a good win against Wolves, and the momentum was in our way, we're on a good run of form, and we lost 2-0 to Fulham. Who is their manager? Still Claude Makélélé, I believe. So we were outdone by our old assistant manager, and we crashed out of the FA Cup in the 4th round, which is fairly disappointing considering we won the competition last year. And we've just drawn 1-1 with Newcastle. Joshua Noma kind of saving our blushes a little bit at the end. It was a poor game in terms of quality of football, but we managed to nick a point, and today we face Sunderland away. So let's see how that has shaped up the competitions-wise. FA Cup we're out of, EFL Cup we're into the final, and obviously we've got that Espanyol game coming up soon. And we're 15th in the table. 5 points clear of the relegation zone, who happen to be Newcastle, who we just had a point against. And we really, really need to pick up. Like, seriously, because if we're down here coming towards the end of the season, there is a very good chance that we can be dragged into it. The only good thing, really, is that Hull and Reading are essentially goners. They're really, really far behind. Hull, I'm not sure if they sacked Michael Laudrup. No, he's still there. They are sticking with him, even though he's only won 3 games all season. That's fair play for them to stick into that. He's not done very well. Saying that, we haven't done much better this season. 3 points today could take us as high as 13th. And we just need to get to that mid-table point where we can chill out and concentrate on cup competitions, essentially. Europe and all the cup competitions we've been involved in has hit us a little bit injury-wise. And you can see the team is looking pretty similar to what it's been recently. Attacking players on good form. Borja Baston scored 3 goals in 2 games, and he hasn't scored since then. So I'm hoping maybe against a defence like Sunderland's, he can work well and do well. Joshua Noma and Sigurdsson have been playing well lately as well. But this is the team for today then. We have Fabianski in goals, Pedro Pereira, Federico Fernandez, Alfie Mawson and Ruben Duarte at the back. Jack Cork, Leroy Fer, Yaya Toure in midfield. Gylfi Sigurdsson and Joshua Noma behind the striker, and Borja Baston up front on his own. Sunderland, slight favourites for today's game then, no surprise there. They are 10th and we are 15th. They have 12 more points than us this season, and we would love to be in their position right now. Stoke doing very well. They're 6th on the table, didn't even realise that. But now our top scorer in the Premier League is Sigurdsson, who's only scored 4 goals in the Premier League this season. So we're really struggling with goal scorers, especially now that Jordan Ayew's gone. So we need someone to step up today. We do have quality strikers in the team. We have Fernando Llorente. We have Borja Baston. We have, I'd say, Thierry Bafuma as well. But he's not that quality. He's only scored goals in the cup, I believe, for us. But here we go then. With today's game, Gomel doesn't make the squad because he's only signed a couple of days ago, and get him used to the team before I put him in the squad. Who knows? He might be the next Jack Cork or the next Leroy Fer. He might be very good. He might just be an absolute waste of money. Man United taking an early lead against Burnley, but nothing has happened in the first 15 minutes of this game. 1 shot on goal so far. Make that 3 now. Frank Taberner, I didn't realise was playing for Sunderland today. He throws the ball in. It goes up to Jonathan Cafu, another player I've never really heard of. He strikes it and it goes wide. And that's probably demonstrating the quality of the game so far. Duncan Watmore, a youth product for Sunderland, playing today for them. And apparently Jonathan Cafu is getting a lot of space. But we're 30 minutes in and Sunderland are kind of dominating the game. It goes in from Khazri here. It's headed away by Cork. It could be a chance to launch a counter-attack. It goes back into the box. It's not cleared away very well. And Ichibi's on it. He plays it up to Taberner. If he were to score or get an assist even, that would be a bitter blow because he didn't have a very good time with us. And we hope that he's going to have a very poor time against us today. Duarte can't win the header. Duncan Watmore on it. He crosses it. I think that was a cross, maybe a shot, but it was poor nonetheless. And you can see there's another highlight here for Sunderland. We haven't had one highlight in our favour yet, and it's hit the crossbar. Leroy Fer could launch a counter-attack here. What can he do with it? He plays it back to Toure, and that's the end of the highlight. But we've been lucky so far. We've been very poor, and I want the team to kind of step up second half. All the highlights have been in favour of Sunderland. They've just hit the crossbar just before half-time. So we need to wake up a bit. I think I've got full-backs. No, I thought they had them on attack because they were pushing quite far forward, but obviously not. We're going to have to make a sub here. We'll take Leroy Fer off, who's struggling a bit, for Andre Horta. get some more quality players on the pitch. I'm tempted to take Borja Bastard off soon because he's had a poor game. 65 minutes in, we haven't had... Wait, oh no, I thought that said Harry Winks then. To be fair, he could be playing for Sunderland. I wouldn't know. Borja Bastard, we're going to bring him off for Llorente and put him on as a target man. Maybe try and hit early crosses, and we'll get whipped crosses and try and aim them at that target man in Llorente. One of the best headers in the Premier League. And things aren't going very well attackingly. This is going to finish 0-0, isn't it? It's not going very well at all. Coney with a throw in to Winks. It is Harry Winks. He is playing for Sunderland, who's playing for us last season. Sigurdsson on the ball. Maybe a chance for a last-minute winner. Jack Cork loses it, and that's probably going to be the end of the game. Now, there's 20 seconds left. It goes up to Anichebe. Fernandez intercepts. And it's been a very poor quality game overall. And probably, well, if any team deserved to win, it would be Sunderland. But the final whistle's about to go. And there it goes. It's 0-0. It's a fairly boring result, but I suppose I'm happy with the performance. It's a solid defensive performance and something we've lacked in recent games. We're still in 15th. We've got Southampton and Stoke next. And then we have 2 games, I believe, against Espanyol in the space of a week. And then comes that faithful EFL Cup final against Spurs. That will be next episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode, guys. If you did, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you have any tips or comments, please leave a comment down below. I'll see you again.